proof of portals. Is that a new thing now? Been hearing stuff about portals for a while, right? Whether it's the potential conversation of what Ashton Forbes has said about the MH370, about technology that's able to do that. There's people who have said they've seen portals, people who've theorized that that's what some of these UAPs are doing, are coming through portals. That's how they're able to move the way that they're doing. Recently, Ross Coulthart said there's information of exactly that, of portals. So let me read this tweet, and then we'll show you the actual video, and then you guys can decipher what you think of it. All right, here's the thing from Tom Thompson. It says, investigative journalist Ross Coulthart has disclosed provocative new testimony regarding a purported portal site, citing witness accounts of anomalous physical phenomena. According to these reports, individuals at the location allegedly demonstrated the ability to pass through solid walls, suggesting a breach of conventional physical laws. Alongside these claims, Coulthart issued a severe public safety warning. He stated that the site is under such high-stakes surveillance or protection that any unauthorized attempt to visit the coordinates would result in the use of lethal force. All right, now here's the actual video itself.
Yes, there is a portal in the United States. In fact, I suspect there are multiple. But this particular portal is in a highly guarded facility that is used under the U.S. Forest Service cover. There are men with guns who patrol it. And there are witnesses who have seen what are clearly people operating with the knowledge of the US military in civilian clothes, walking into literally a wall. These witnesses are terrified. They're not about to stick their heads up on TV, but they are happy to talk to people like me. I've spoken to people who have told me about the existence of this portal. I've been to the location. I am aware that it was the subject of extensive study by a team that was operating in the area for some considerable period of time. I'm told that there is technology that is being used to try to deaden the efficacy of the portal to stop things coming out or going through. I know it all sounds like something out of science fiction, but believe me, the United States knows a hell of a lot more about portals and interdimensional technologies than it cares to admit. And at some stage, they're going to have to tell the public the truth. Otherwise, it's all going to come rolling out in an absolutely catastrophic way. What more can I say? The portal or portals that I'm aware of, but believe me, it's an extremely sensitive, highly guarded, secret military facility. Don't try and access there if you're speculating about where it is. You'll get killed. There is a determination by the sections of the national security state that are aware of all of this to keep it quiet, to hide it from you, the general public. I have no idea why they think they can continue to maintain such a degree of secrecy. It's going to blow up in their face. But I'm very sorry I can't tell you any more right now. I'm certainly causing mischief.
Yes, it does sound like science fiction. It's not to say that it is purely science fiction. It's not to say that I don't believe it, because I'll tell you straight up, I kind of do. But it is one of those things, and I've said this many times over. I respect Ross Coulthart very much. The problem is sometimes with his reports, it's like I've heard from people who say this. They won't say it on camera. They won't say this. I get hesitant and say, part of me says you shouldn't say anything then, because the problem is, and I'm half of me says that. The other half says you should do exactly what you just did. The half that says you shouldn't do anything is because it's all real just speculation, right? It's all just, okay, sure. They have these things that can people can walk through walls and can defy gravity and do all these different things. You've heard it. You can say that there's 87 people who are time traveling right now, and they're in different dimensions. And you've heard from a guy who just bet on Tyson losing against Buster Douglas, and he's a millionaire in a different dimension. You know that. That's why we don't see him anymore. You can say that. There's no way to prove that that person didn't say it. the side of saying it is if you believe in the people that are telling you, and that there's this crazy shit that the people that you believe that people should know about this. And if you believe, as he seems to at the end there, that this kind of information can come out, and when it does, you're going to look like the one, I told you. You called me crazy. Gave some scenario about Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas in a multiverse when I was spitting facts. There's that aspect to it. There's also when he's snooping around, and probably once this report came that the White House was going to start letting out, documents, he probably started getting some more information about what was going on, what was being looked into, all that. Now, I think right now that those files are the lowest priority for the White House with everything going on in Iran right now. I know there's people knocking on doors and trying to do that stuff, but it's just not it's not a priority right now. When that came out, there was no war going on. So does this type of technology, is this a type of thing? Now look, this is another thing that you do, the what if this is actually factual and that they have this type of technology and the public is going to know about it. Well, wouldn't some of the public say, if that's the case and you have that kind of technology, how do we know that these things that you say you see aren't aliens? There are technology that you're using, and they start, look what Ashton Forbes been saying forever. How what's the merit in that? He's going to have some claims too, that's the type of technology he's talking about. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. There's definitely types of technology that we have and things and access to things we couldn't believe that is very science fiction that you think about if, 30, 40 years ago, some of the shit we have now, if you told people back in the 80s of the type of stuff that we have today, they're like, they're not going to do that. You're going to be able to put in a video of Tom Cruise, fighting somebody else and it's going to look just like them, and they're going to be able to do this and talk. That's science fiction stuff. AI, artificial intelligence, that's Terminator stuff. That's not going to happen. That's just science fiction, and one of many things. You're gonna have a thing you can connect to. You have a device that if you want, you can connect to anybody you want in the entire world and tweet something out, and millions of people will see it. That'll never happen. That's science fiction. So who knows? I don't know. But the idea that the more serious part of this, which would make sense, is if this type of technology existed and this portal, this thing, more so than a portal than technology, this portal exists, whatever it is, you can walk through walls or do whatever it might be. Then yeah, if anybody tried to go see it or anything too, you bet your ass it's probably guarded, because that type of, if they could perfect that, and you could go and let's say they created teleportation devices. Again, hypothetically, airlines out of business. If I wanted to go get a bowl of pasta in Italy right now, say, hold on a second, right back, pause it, walk through the freaking portal, go to Italy. I know this is science fiction stuff, but this is the kind of shit that I start thinking of too. Imagine they could do this. I don't know. I'm going down a rabbit hole of stuff of, and maybe that's why he says it sounds like science fiction, because what does it really mean? I don't know. What do you guys make of this portal thing? Now I want a bowl of pasta. Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. I got to hear. So subscribe, comment, click like, do all that and more. I'll be back here with some videos this week. Appreciate you being here. We'll see you on the flip side. Bye. I really want that pasta.